Howdy folks, it's All Early here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We're 16% done, that's 16% done with the Greenland exploration bush trip. I assume you've watched the first video so you know what's going on. 2 hour 12-minute leg, except the first one did not take us anywhere near that, even with my pauses to help my children. Hopefully this takes a lot less time too. Looks like a normal airport to land at. So what are we waiting for? Let's get going. Where are we? We are parked. Is this where we landed? It is, except we had a whole bunch of snow coming overnight or something. So we're going to have to back taxi here because we're going to need this whole runway. So it looks like we had a snowstorm. I think we can change the weather if we need to, but we're not going to. We're going to start out with what they've got. Because I changed the weather before so we could see, and it ended up with a dry runway. So we want to take off in the snow. So anyway, just enjoying the territory, looking at the cool city. We're going to head south, I believe. And in case you didn't see the previous video, we will go over the navigation. Anyway, first of all, what do we need to do? We need to come down here. Let's reset everything because my yoke makes things do weird stuff in this airplane. I don't understand it, but that's just the way it is. Alrighty, let's get this thing started. We're not going to use ATC. It's just untowered airports anyway so far. Let's get this started. Beacon. Actually, let's do everything because we're going to be... We don't need that yet. We're not even running yet. We'll get all that going in a second. So what do you want to do? You want to get this thing started up. I probably shouldn't have turned on the radios yet. Whatever. What am I missing? Oh, ignition. Over here, first of all, is the fuel turned on because they turned it off in the previous leg. Okay, it's on. And our fuel. Oh, wait. Repair and refuel. Bam. Why did it turn off everything? That was weird. Ignition on, starter on. This should start rotating. Yes, it will. Is parking brake on? Yes, it is. I did parking brake and it stopped the engine from starting. What kind of nonsense is this? Anyway, is this all going to get going? There we go. Good. We're not moving, are we? Better not be. Alrighty, one set of flaps down. Right? Yep. Skis should be down. Let's go out here and check. Skis are down. Flaps are down 1. Trim is in takeoff. Oh. Navigation. If you want to cheat, well, there's no cheating in Flight Sim. I'll explain that in a minute. Why are my radios not working anymore? Hello? My radios aren't working anymore. There we go. If you hit CDI to GPS, come out here, you can just follow the purple line. I say it's not cheating because Flight Simulator is what you want to make of it. So if you want to do, this is in out for some reason. If you want to, it doesn't matter. Do however you want. There's no cheating. So if you want to use the purple line to navigate, you can. Only you can use the heading bug, the nav log or whatever. It's all up to you. We're going to hit D to get the gyro drift. You see that move? B for barometer. Not changing. First set of flaps down. We can zoom this out a little bit, I think. There we go. And we're going to keep the line, this rectangle in the middle. That's how we navigate. Very simple. Check the previous video for details on that. And we'll turn that on. We don't need that on. We're going to turn all these on though. There we go. Okie dokie. We're all set. Let's read about what is happening. First of all, I want to know how close our last one is. Okay, only 18 minutes. Good. So if we crash, which we shouldn't because it should be much, much, much easier than landing here. You only have to go back 18 minutes. Good. I don't have to have heart pain like it did at the end of the previous leg. Alright, we're headed to Baga, Bravo, Golf, Alpha, Alpha. And it's another 2 hours and some away. So anyway, no big deal, right? Lift off from the airport, set a course to the south-southeast, fly over the outer margin of the archipelago where it meets open water of the Baffin Bay. Baffin Bay, which is part of the Arctic Ocean, separates Canada's Baffin Island from Greenland. Air transport is critical. You can pause and read if you want to. I don't want to lose my voice reading all that. That's the bay. That's only 13 minutes out. And then We'll keep reading since it's going to happen quickly here. From there, pass over open water to the Cape of Kurtag Island, the second largest in the area. Pass over the bay and arrive on the southern shore of a place I cannot pronounce. The only settlement on the island was found in 1855 as a trading post. Alright, cool. And then when we get there, we'll read about the next greatest thing. So you can look at here for your heading, or you can just look at here for your heading. Ta-da! And keep that in the middle. And that's all you got to do. That's all you got to know. If you need to know how to do that, though, that's where you got to do your own research. Alright, let's take off. Oh boy, let's reset this. Listen to that weather. It's stormy, oh boy, and we're rolling. Do not tip the plane over, please, because that has happened. Let's not tip the plane over, thank you. You know, you can go to those websites like how to do achievements for games. I'm yelling because my personal volume is really loud, sorry. So you go to these achievement websites, right, for games or whatever, and be like, how do you do this achievement? And it'll give details. And this flight simulator has a bunch of achievements. So there's a lot of them. They're all listed on the webpage. Some of them are tricky, like how do you do 8 hours in a prop plane? You just hop in with real world weather and time, pause it, come back 8 hours later and land, and it counts, stuff like that. And someone was asking, how do I do bush trips? They're like, you just fly the bush trip, and they wanted every detail from how to fly the plane and get it off the ground and all this stuff. And someone's like, if you need those details, you're not ready for bush trips. And I agree. So, if you don't know what I was talking about with the GPS, do your research? Nah, I'll tell you. I'll talk about it in a minute. I'm not going to be that mean. People come to me for help with things embedded within my videos, so I better deliver. Where's the runway? What happened? Where are we here? Let me reset this. Are we on the runway? Well, come on, drone. Thank you. That's the runway. We're just in the middle of a snowstorm. Is that enough room? We'll find out if we crash. We didn't get very far. Oh gosh, we're rolling. Let's get everything forward. Ramp this thing up all the way. And here we go. And try to go straight because I can't see anything in this weather. Let's just not hit the hill. Let's go over here to where I think it is. Hey, now the nose is coming down. Because last time we flew this thing, the nose never came down. Oh, it's trying to take off, which is fine because we only need to be doing 40 knots. Brakes to stop the wheels. We will keep... No! Skis are coming up. Flaps are coming up. And we need to turn around. But I want to show you the animation of the skis coming up. Isn't that cool? There we go. Skis are up. Bam. Wrong camera button. Oh, look at this awesome weather. This is exciting. We did not get this weather the first time. So we need to turn around and face the right direction. Let's just get some views of the area while we're here, because we're in the middle of a snowstorm. That's so amazing. I am using my gauges on the left and on the right so I don't crash. How beautiful is this? Alright, flaps are in. Whatchamacallit. Skis are up because the next airport looked like pavement. Keep an eye on my speed. But we also need to get some altitude here. Well, that's deceiving. It says it's in flap range on that tape, but here it says we're plenty fast. Anyway, you can also use this too, by the way, to get your GPS to stay on track. So it says 191. We're at 210, so we're not going to get any closer to that until we're less than 191. So we need to be 191 or less, actually much less. So let's fly over the airport. Beautiful airport. I think that's the scariest landing of the entire trip. I'm not comfortable. Okay, that's 180, that's 190, 187. I'm not comfortable with this because these are really high hills. We're actually going to veer off course to go around the water, and then once we know what's happening, we will get back on track. I'm just kind of scared. I mean, it wants us to go over the bay, so I guess we have to, but I'm scared because I know these are high hills from our arrival when they cleared up the weather a little bit. What are we at? 2,000 feet only. Can we climb more rapidly, do you think? Just to stay safe. And then we'll check out the first bay, check out the second bay, And then I'll do some sightseeing eventually where you don't listen to my voice. I just give you sightseeing shots. But since there's no autopilot, at least no autopilot that I could find after looking at it for 2 hours, it's hard to get... Oh, we're icing up. But we don't have icing. We don't have icing in the plane. We don't have de-icing in the plane. And I can't... Okay, I'm going to turn the weather, make it more favorable, and I'll explain why in a minute. Few clouds is fun. Temperature... Fahrenheit, okay. Icing cleared up. Okay, so no icing did not clear up. Now it's clearing up. Okay. I looked for icing before in this plane. I didn't find anything other than pitot heat. So it's unfair if we have icing conditions and we can't get around it because of all the clouds. So I don't mind changing the weather a little bit. There we go. Now we're above freezing. Barely. So that's why we do stuff like that. It's still low clouds and everything, so it's still dramatic. And I learned that from one of the missions, 40th anniversary missions, that he just couldn't fly. Someone else, one of my viewers, was trying to fly it as well. We couldn't fly it. I finally did it and realized real world weather was turned on, and all I had to do was change weather. Because usually the weather's locked down. These are usually like mini games where everything is locked down to a certain way, and you just have to do it. You can't change the settings, but sometimes they allow you to change settings, and I didn't know that at the time. See, this is why we took the long way. Do you see that? There's no way we would have cleared that had I gone the way, followed the GPS. So sometimes you have to make your own decisions. So there we go. We're at 180, 191, so we will rejoin the path briefly. Let's keep the trim back so we are firewalled yet climbing like crazy. Actually, that's not that crazy, but climbing. And for the last leg, we did like 26,000 feet. We're not going to go that high this time. I just don't overspeed, so I let it climb. And we did overspeed when I wasn't recording. And I'm glad it didn't crash us. Just checking out the train while we climb out of here. What are we looking at? Still got a ways to go to rejoin the GPS. This will start moving in a moment, and then we will make our turn. I'm just making sure that we do not run into any terrain. So I'm just keeping us climbing. Maybe we can trim back and climb even higher. I'm comfortable climbing down to about 95. Well, that's beautiful. Look at that. Huh. Am I stable enough to do some stuff outside yet? Let me get my aileron trim going here. Let's try. Ooh, wow. Let's reset the drone. And let's get some dramatic screenshots here while I can. Man, this is crazy. Oh, this is nice. Pose, pose, to the left, to the right, smile, don't smile, look angry, look happy. You don't know what's on the other side of this cloud. There, that's our photo shoot. I just took like 20 screenshots. And here we go, how we doing? Good? Man, how far off do we get from our GPS? It's not this. Huh, anyway, we'll keep flying until we get to it. Good grief, that's beautiful, isn't it? Oh my goodness. The weather makes it very dramatic. It's beautiful nonetheless here. Alright, it's starting to move, so let's get ready to turn to 191. We can actually start that turn now. Because we're pretty steeply off of it. So there's 170. We'll fly like this for a while, because this is how I flew the previous leg for 2 hours and 45 minutes. It was like this pretty much the whole time. But I was watching YouTube, and then my teenager was with me for most of it, actually, which is really cool. He gave me advice because I said, I really hope I don't crash the plane because I have to go back an hour. He's like, but dude, Dad, if you crash the plane in real life, there's no going back. So that made me feel better. Glad this isn't real life. 7,000 feet. Let's start trimming down a little. I mean, we'll stay just above the clouds. What do the clouds say they're at? First set of clouds are at 8,200. So let's go to 8,500, I guess, and then we'll level off. And we're about to meet our line, so let's slowly get over to 191, and then I'll just have to make corrections based on the wind from there. 15 nautical miles till Baffin Bay, and then right after that was another bay. So lots of bays. Whoops, I turned way too much because I got very excited. Let's go back. I'm going to trim this to about 118, 119. In the previous video, I got to 125 and got the overspeed warning. And if you overspeed long enough, the airplane will register as stress and a crash, and then you're in big trouble. It looks like we are above the clouds, so let's just bring back throttles, because I'm trimmed to where I want it to be, even though it's bouncing around yet, but we're going to bring back throttles to stay level, and then I'll use trim for our speed. And there we go. Then we don't need to get to 26,000 feet like last time. That was kind of crazy. Alright, we're following the GPS within, I don't know, 20th of a mile or so, so close enough. I'm just trying to get this dialed in with the trim and the throttle so we stop going up and down, but we can speed up a little bit. So while this is bouncing around, actually let's not. I was going to have us hop outside and look at some stuff, but I don't want our speed to get above 120, so I'm not quite ready to look around yet. Oh, let's look around anyway during the hop. Ooh, that's beautiful. So there we go, looking good. The bay's in front of us. Whoop, we're turning here. Let's turn back. The bay is in front of us, and then there'll be another bay after that. So looking mighty fine, if I may say so myself, and we're losing control of aircraft. When you move the drone, you can't move the aircraft at the same time, but you can hit the C key to get control of your aircraft, then hit C again, C is for camera, to get back to the drone. There we go. We're going to settle in around 8,300 feet. Perfect. And then we'll just keep an eye on our speed so we don't get too fast. But I do want to go a little bit faster if we can. There we go. Alrighty. The bay's in front of us, and then there's another bay with the first settlement. But that'll pop over in a second. Beautiful, beautiful. Don't worry, we'll get to some sightseeing without my voice in a minute. It's just we're getting set up here. We already talked about the first two places we're going anyway, so the bay and then the settlement on the bay. And then after that, I think we have a big span here. 23 minutes. I guess it's much like 20-minute stuff. There's a big span there, but we'll have sightseeing for these next sections because that's like an hour or something for me. So yeah, so don't worry, you'll get rid of my voice soon. Oh, all right, well, ready to change over to the next POI. So this means we're over the first bay, and then we'll look for the second bay, which should be right up there because it's only 4 minutes or 6 minutes out or something. I am trying to dial in my aileron trim because in the previous leg it would always go to the left, but then I got it to be dialed in so it'd be straight. I'm just trying to still dial that in myself right now for this leg, and I'm adjusting the trim ever so slightly to get a little bit more speed out of this. Our elevation is kind of slowly climbing, but so far so good. I am hitting the D key for gyro drift. Oh, it just moved again, see? And then I'm hitting the B key for barometer, but the barometer doesn't seem to matter in this flight. And there's our waypoint. I just got the save icon, so there we go. Alright, any second now I'll switch over to POI 4. So that means right now we're over the bay. I think, oh, it's still rotating left a little bit. We can look, oh, isn't that beautiful? There is our bay right below us, right there. We're looking ahead to the next spot, which is the settlement, which is up ahead. Oh, and we're turning to the left because I don't have control of the aircraft. Let's get back on track, come on. And there we go, POI 4, 13 nautical miles away. Now we do want to turn left. No, we don't want to turn right, you want to go to 214. So once we line up here, which is now, we want to go right a little bit to 214, which is right before that small tick, or just look over there. Whatever you want to do. Whoop, make sure you pull back a little bit so that you don't descend while you're turning. Because that'll give you pick your speed up too, which we don't want to do. Alright, we were a little slow on reacting, so you have to go beyond 214 to get back on our track. 1.0 means 1 mile off track, by the way. If it's there or farther, you're more than 1 mile off track. Alright, as we come up on the settlement, we'll look straight down when we get above it so we can look and see if we can find it. Let's read about the rest of the trip, and then I'll give you some sightseeing along the way, and I'll just hang back and watch some YouTube videos unless something interesting happens. So, the peninsula, and I'll make sure I get these in sightseeing. Like, as I go over everything, I'll make sure it's in the sightseeing this time. I missed other stuff because of the weather in the first video. Just heading slightly course, and then look for the fjord. Pass by an unnamed island that is formed by 2 fjords. And the peninsula separates them. Sorry, I'm also keeping track of us getting off track over here while I read. Yep. Come on. Catch up again. So, an unnamed island. I'll make sure that gets in the sightseeing when it's appropriate timing. And then another peninsula. Turn heading. Yep, we'll do that when we get there. Use NDB as a guide, which we can change this down here by my cursor, if we would like to. Fly out into the open water where it meets the bay. Oh, same bay again. The unnamed fjord system is one of the largest in Greenland in the world. Flying above its opening to the mouth of the bay provides excellent perspective into how the accumulated ice of the Greenland ice sheet floats outward towards the sea. You can pause and read more if you like. I'm going to save my voice. Dramatic paths. Then after that, we go our longest stretch. And I got to turn left here. After passing over the peninsula, over the island, roughly 75 miles by 75 miles, the island, which you can read about 6,300 feet above sea level. University of Copenhagen Arctic Station is one of the oldest research stations in Greenland. And how are we looking? Got to turn more left. And then we go to the airport, which I don't think we need skis, and that's why my skis are up. Change course, use another NDB, and that's because then when I looked at the overarching path, we kind of go like this and up and down. It's kind of weird. Stay at the town, single roaming facility, and I'm still watching this go the wrong way here. The modern town moved its current location in 1763. Alrighty, so what's going to happen is once we get established here, after this settlement, is we'll move on to sightseeing, which means I cut down the 2 hours into something consumable. You won't miss anything though. I'll make sure I get everything in view, especially the POIs, which I'll know by this. I'll make sure I'm recording every time we get to one for sure. And okay, we're getting farther away because I was too busy reading that. Let's be dramatic here and really get over there in time to see the settlement. And we'll look at the unnamed island, a research station, and then the town and the airport. And we should be able to land pretty easily. I don't want to go overconfident though. There we go, now we're half mile out. Now we can slowly, well, not quite yet, but in a moment we can move to 213. Alright, we look at the Minecraft down there. Minecraft mashup. Minecraft lights and mashup. Alright, let's start going to 213 because we're about to line up with the rectangle right there. Being careful not to lose altitude, not to change speed. We're losing a little bit of altitude. We need to pull back even more. Holy cow, turtle. You know better than this. Don't let us drop altitude. And there's 213. Oh, 214, 215. Got a little excited. Alrighty, this is where I send you off to sightseeing. Oh, let's look at the settlement first, which should be right below us. Oh, it's a Minecraft settlement. Alrighty, so sightseeing, I gotta manually fly this thing, no autopilot. So I'm gonna fly, keep us on track, keep our speed as fast as I can. Trying to keep our altitude about the same. It's hunting right now, that's why it's going down a little bit. It'll come back up. And then make sure at every POI I'm recording so that you see it, so you don't miss anything. Hopefully, if all goes well, you'll hear my voice when it's time to approach and land in a couple hours my time, not a couple hours your time. But if something interesting happens in between, I'll start talking. So, after this cut, it'll be sightseeing or my voice, or who knows what. See in a little bit. Alright, we're already on the home stretch. If you look over here, the airport is right there across the water, 30 nautical miles away. We just made our big turn, so I'm relining up again with whatchamacallit. And when we come down, we were up to 10,000, actually 11,000 feet, because those mountains back there, I guess way back there now, they were pretty high. I was picking up train turbulence, so we climbed pretty high, so we got 29 nautical miles to get down. I think the airport is at like 68 feet or something above sea level. Let's calibrate our compass. There we go. So we need to come down quite a bit in elevation, altitude. Well, probably not that fast. I'm using the throttle to control that, by the way. That's all I'm using, this throttle to control our descent. Okay, we don't have to come down this fast. Goodness gracious, that's 8,800 feet already. Yeah, that's too fast. But anyway, home stretch over the water. It's been really fast. I didn't have the timer running this time, so I don't know how long this has been. I'm curious if it's really going to be 2 hours and 14 minutes. My 12-year-old was with me for most of the flight. He brought all the cats in and was playing with the cats while I was flying. So that was really fun. That helped time go fast. But yeah, it's been a quick and easy flight. This leg anyway. We do have, is it 4 or 5 legs left? They're all pretty long. A couple of them almost hit an hour. One of them's over an hour. But at least they're not 2.5 hours or whatever. But they're still pretty long. So I think for this series we're going to have probably 1 leg per video. I like to combine them though. That way if there's like 6, 7, 8 legs, you don't have 8 videos to wait for. But I don't know how I'm going to edit them down. Or I don't know how editing, is going to be. Because I do a lot of talking and flying during the long flights. So anyway, there's the airport, 25 nautical miles away now. It goes pretty quickly. Fuel, no problem this time at all. So I'm just going to keep flying across the way here and keep an eye on my descent. I want to get around 2,000 feet or so in the vicinity of the airport. Should be pretty easy to spot. Skis are up, so it's just flaps and speed. Very long runway. We can stop on a dime, so we can come in, level off, touch down gently. Bouncing once or twice is acceptable, even in real life. And we don't have to worry about short field landing, so if we bounce a couple times, as long as you don't damage anything, that's fine. Reversers, brakes, all that stuff. And then I'm going to try to just turn off the airplane right on the runway this time. Now that I know you just have to pull the fuel valve thing, and that should be it. And there you go. So that will be our approach procedures. I'm just going to keep an eye on our descent. Whoops, I'm told. So busy talking and looking around. We got almost a mile off of our path, which is a problem until we get closer and see the airport. So what I might do is accelerate our descent just to get below the clouds. What is the cloud level? The base of the cloud level is 1,600 feet only. Well, I was thinking if I got below the clouds I could see the airport, but the base of the clouds are even lower than I want to be. I don't know, maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll come down quickly so we can at least see land over there and then get an eyeball on the airport. There we go, we're finally back on the line, so we can start moving back to 183. Okay, here we go. Let's just descend and be careful, and we'll look around with the drone very, very quickly. What we need to gain control of the aircraft here. There we go, back to the drone. Open water, not a whole lot to see. Oh, there's an island out there. Oh, we're losing control of the aircraft. Let's come here. See, reset, boom. All right, here we go. What do we need to do? We need to turn to 183 yet. How do we descend? Very cool. I think the other huge bush trip is with the 950 Pilatus. So I think there's autopilot in that other one. I hope. We'll see. And when we do the other bush trip, the one that's doubled with 2 different planes with the Cessnas, both those Cessnas have autopilot. So it changes things when you don't have to fly by hand. Whoops, I turned too much because again I'm talking and scratching my head. Yeah, let's dive below these clouds so we can see what's going on. More islands having a peek below the clouds. But we're not below the clouds quite yet. We have to come down like 5,000 feet. And that's okay, as long as you don't get too much speed. And here we are, just about to dive into the clouds. Keep an eye on everything, making sure our speed doesn't increase. We do not want our speed to increase. The low fuel thing again. Remember, you're not supposed to look at that. That's what the warning says. We have half a tank anyway. Yeah, I'm going to dive into the clouds and make sure I get this in the video. If I don't talk, then I often cut it out on accident. So I'm going to ramble through our descent. We're getting low fast. We're at 4,500 feet, so I do have to pay attention to that, or we will get way too low way too quickly, and then I won't know where we are, and we're on our tracks. Let's turn to 183 while we dive into the clouds. And into and below the clouds we go. Let's start bringing the throttles in a little bit to soften our descent so we don't crash into the water. That'd be a huge bummer after all this flight. And I'm not worried about icing. And what are we at? We're still 15 nautical miles out, so we can see land now. So I don't think we need to descend to too much more. We'll just be too low too soon, and it'll be unnecessary. Well, why is it doing that? What is going on? That's not how that works. No. Why? That was weird. I had throttles coming back more and more instead of... I mean, I gave throttles. I put throttles back in more and more. But instead of softening the descent, it just sped up. See? What is going on here? Putting throttles in is supposed to soften our descent and level off, not speed up and keep going low. That's weird. Oh, where are we? Oh yeah, we're still on track. Okay. 13 nautical miles. This is weird. I had everything under control until we hit about 3,700 feet, and then everything went wonky on me. Let's do some final looks outside using this view so I can keep an eye on my gauges. Yeah, let's not do that. I'm not happy with what I see over on the left, so let's just keep an eye on things here. Alrighty, we're lined up with our approach pretty much. Why is it descending like this? This is weird. Huh, I wonder if there's some drafts in the clouds or something. Anyway, 10 miles away now. Getting closer and closer. But I can't see anything because of the dang clouds. The clouds are 1,600 feet. And we're at 36, so let's come down. Let's try to get out of these clouds. We're close enough now. We should be able to get out of these clouds. It does screw up the orientation, though, so we got to keep an eye on our gauges. Careful eye on the gauges. And into the clouds we go, just like real life. Alright, watch these gauges now, because the looking out the window is completely useless and it'll screw up our orientation. Let's get back to 183 degrees as quickly as possible. There we go. Keep an eye on our speed. Keep an eye on our elevation, or altitude, sorry. 2,800 feet. 115 knots. No. Yes. No, 105. 110. There's land. And the airport should be right on the end. What's the reference image look like very quickly? Yeah, it just shows it on wherever. Okay, so we might have to do a flyby because I don't know where this airport is. So let's come over here. Let's zoom this in so we know when we're flying over it. Let's keep our altitude at this, 2,000 feet. No, yes, 2,200. Fine with me. Until we know where we're landing. I don't think there's an ATIS, is there? Nope, just traffic. Okay, untowered, no ATIS. B for barometer, D for gyro drift. That's D's in delta. And according to this, we're flying exactly perfectly at it, so it's out here somewhere, probably on the other side of that hill maybe. Let's not go any lower, so let's give some throttles, and hopefully not speed up. Hopefully it actually just... No, it's speeding up instead of leveling off. That's not how that's supposed to work. It worked fine at 10,000 feet, but it's weird this low. Interesting. I'm going to use the map to see exactly where this is located on the island. Why is it zoomed in so far? Oh, it says it's on the near side. Oh. Is there right here maybe? This is just got much more interesting. I don't see an airport anywhere. On the near side, 68 or 69 feet. We're at 1,300 feet. And our speed is good. And I ain't seen... Oh, wait, that's because we have... No, we're out... No, we're... Look how fast we're going. We're only 4.7 nautical miles. Oh, it's after this, man. It's after this. It's over here. Gotcha. I've done that before where whoops. Thought I was looking at something else. Okay, we have another. It's our nose is pointing right at it. I think I can see it. But we're gonna go skis up on this because it looks like it's pretty clear. At least in the picture. We'll see when we fly by if it's actually clear or not. Beautiful scenery though of that island. And the water. And we have to pay attention to what we're doing. Oh, we're good. 1,100 feet to do an inspection pass. 115, 110 knots. And there's a huge airport. There's the beacon just showed up. And now we just need to see what the runway looks like and see which direction we want to land from. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. Holy moly. I haven't seen anything like this in any other flights in flight I've ever done. Man, this is amazing. Alright, I'm trimming up to slow down. Using throttle so we don't climb when I trim up. I'll keep our altitude the same if we can. And... I mean... Yeah, I can see the paint right here. So we will not use skis for this. But we need some throttles though. Whoop. Let's use this preset for right now. Come on. Get going. Let's not descend at all. Alright, inspection pass. Let's land from the left and go towards the buildings in case you roll it out. Then we'll be near the buildings. Alright, looks good to me. Here we go. Let's give ourselves enough room for a nice approach. Nice long approach. Come down gently. We know we can land probably slower than 60 knots with full flaps, but we'll aim for like 70 near touchdown, then we'll float with ground effects, hopefully not bounce. But again, even up to 2 bounces is acceptable, even in real life, based on everybody I've talked to. So I do know real life pilots. None of them have been able to take me up, but with my medical stuff I can't fly a plane anyway. I would never be allowed to fly a plane. So this is as good as it gets and it's fine with me. Alright, already past the thing. We're way past, so we should turn in now, but let's give ourselves a little bit more room. Again, skis are up, and we'll have flaps down. Let's do first flaps right now, actually. And it takes full throttle to keep this thing from sinking out of the sky with full flap. There we go. Well, let's not ascend. There we go. Let's do full flap now, even though it's a little bit early. Here we go. Keep an eye on that speed while we look for the airport. There it is. Ooh, nice. We have lights for this one. Ooh, nope. Yeah, nose down doesn't really speed us up much for some reason, so we need nose and throttle when we're flying this dirty. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, so beautiful. Alrighty, let's do about 80 knots now to come in. So nose down for speed if it'll actually work this time. I mean, it just makes us sink. It doesn't really speed up much. That's weird. That's so strange. Normally you nose down for your speed, use throttle for your climb and descent, but for some reason it's not doing that way. So where throttle is all the way back, it's slowing us down and starting to finally sink us. Let's nose down and keep the speed up. Jeez, strange. So we'll come in kind of steep. That runway is way longer than it looks. Way longer than it looks. So we'll touch down gently, throw on reversers. We'll stop on a dime. Come on. Whew. This is tricky. This isn't easy to land. Man. I just remember that other long bus trip isn't in this plane. It's in the Grand Caravan, which does have autopilot. So that's fine. Okay, let's not clip a tree. Trees used to be freebies, but they're not anymore. I can't really tell how high we are above the trees. Oh, Pappy says we're too high, but I don't trust it because those trees are right there. So we'll do the good old get over the trees and come crashing down on the runway trick. Like this. And then we'll level off. We'll lose a lot of speed. Nope, not that much speed. I mean, not that much. Okay, now we can touch down. Any day now? There we go. Reverser's working. Brakes. Flaps in. Off the brakes, off the reversers. So we don't prop strike. Roll this out a little bit. And that was an amazing land. That was my best Taldrager landing ever in my life. Whoa, why are you going so fast? Dude. Stop without a prop strike. Dude. Okay, the save icon, but we're not. Stop, because I don't want a prop strike. Okay, we're going to stop right here. Set the parking brake. We're going to come over here. I'm going to do all my weird stuff. We're going to try to do this. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to flip that up. And then we're just going to turn this stuff off. And that should conclude our flight. It did last time. I guess we might have to wait for the prop to stop maybe. Then it'll conclude our flight. Man, I hope the rest of our landings are like that. I won't be stressed out at all. I love that landing. Even with the challenge of the trees, getting over those trees and coming down. Yay, good. Okay. 2 hours, 6 minutes. So not much shorter than they said. All right. You know the drill. Subscribe so you know when leg 3 drops. Hit the like button so people know we exist. I'm pretty sure I'm the only person doing every single bus trip. That's my simple outro. I'll see you next time.